The first guest on the Matt and Ant show is the oldest rookie in NFL history that wasn't a kicker or an international player, and also the inspiration for the movie Invincible, starring Mark Wahlberg. Vince Papale.
Unknown caller.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you, Matt. Let me get rid of this. Now, who's trying to get a hold of me from Morristown, New Jersey? Somebody probably trying to sell me something. Yes, so it's all good. Yeah, it's great to be on here with you guys. And Ann, how you doing? So where are you guys located? I'm down in Jupiter, Florida right now.
We're in Havertown right now. And he's
okay. I know Havertown very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in Morton.
Okay, you're Marlton.
And Morton.
Oh, Morton. Oh, that's right. We were talking about that before. Yeah, right around the corner. There was, I forget the name of that bar. My ex-father-in-law used to work there. There was this right there at by the railroad station, by the train station.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there? Yeah, I doubt he's still there. If he's 110 years old, he's still there.
Yeah.
So the first thing we'd like to talk about is your thoughts on the Eagles picking Jalen Hurts.
Hey, it is what it is, man. He's quite an athlete, and let's see, whatever the motives and their thoughts about picking him, I guess they know. I'll have to check with the coach and see what he thinks. But hey, I don't know. I'm not great sure. I'm not real sure that I'm on board or not on board with that one. It was an interesting pick, especially since they just gave Carson a couple bucks in his new contract. And but it is what it is, and you just have to trust the process, I guess. Like Joel says. Yeah, well, there's a little irony there. My daughter actually works for the Sixers.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, she does all their entertainment. So, Gabrielle, she's down here with me. We're heading back. Actually, we're heading back up north next week. But anyway, it was an interesting pick, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, and whether he's going to carry two or three quarterbacks, and whether one's going to be active and maybe because he's such a great athlete, maybe they'll put him in that H-back role that sometimes happens. But we'll find out. And
we definitely will.
Yeah. Even with every pick that they got, they're draft picks, and they're not football players until they actually get out there and play a regular season game and perform.
Yeah, it was definitely the most surprising pick they've had since Kevin Cobb, quarterback.
Well, I thought maybe leaving Jefferson on the board too.
Yeah,
that was an interesting pick. Yeah, he performed fairly well in the national championship game, and I sort of like this style. But again, you have to trust Howie and Doug and understand that this is the way we want to go, and this is where we're going to go. But again, they're just right now they're just draft picks, and they have to perform. They have to stay healthy. It's a grind, and pick up some stuff, and they have the confidence and faith they can do it. So if they say that's the guy, okay, I'm an Eagles fan, so and I'll be there no matter what. So it's all good.
I completely agree. Like whoever, I might hate the quarterback at one time or another, but I still support the team no matter what. So
he's our quarterback, and I tell you, Carson is. I have so much respect for him, and I just as an athlete, aside from being a fan, I would like to see him finally have that career and get that thing that's on his whatever that's the shadow that's over top of him right now. That that cloud that's over him. A hustle play. He's hustling against the Rams, and he gets slammed and he continues to play and, creates another touchdown. And then, the cheap shot that Clowney gave him in the Seattle game. I mean, that was totally uncalled for. But again, here's a guy that's out there playing for his teammate, not for him. And these are two hustle injuries. And I know that because, I'm looking at my son on the other side, Vinny, who played a couple of years. And he had a couple of injuries that were injuries as a result of him hustling. Playing for the other guy. So I feel for Carson, and I really want this kid to get through a season and have a good season and get us into the playoffs and take us to the promised land, just like Nick did.
Absolutely. He's shown in 2017. he could be the top quarterback in the league.
Hey, no question about it. And so, and I don't know what you think, but I'm whatever. I just see. I view the game, I think, a little bit differently, guys, because of being the fan in the stands and then coming down and getting on the sideline. And I think I have a lot more empathy and compassion for things that they've been through. And I'm not all that impressed with draft picks, because I've seen guys draft picks come in that were bombs, and I've seen draft picks that have come in that have performed. And so that's why in anything in business, the same thing. You can come in with all these accolades, but it all comes down to what are you doing on game day, baby? And you're winning football games for us. And it's a big, big business, and there's a lot of pressure. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's all people remember is Super Bowls. They don't remember stats or anything. It's just Super Bowls.
Yeah, I would be honest with you, man. I'm actually a Cowboys fan.
No.
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Would be.
Hey, you want to put the mute? You want to put the mute button on this Cowboy fan here?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm about to do it.
But I would be a football fan. Period. But what you think on your player now is back in your time?
Well, a lot. There's a big difference, Ant, between the players now and the players back in my time. And one is obviously the way they train. We and now it's a full-time thing, and it's way with the new collective bargaining agreement (CBA) they have. And with the mini camps, we didn't have mini camps, and with the OCAs, organized activities, that's entirely different. Obviously, the money's different. A whole different philosophy in terms of the way the game is played. The rules are so much different. Back then, we could literally knock a guy's jock off, and we would get rewarded for that. And now if you hit a guy with a clean hit, and they'll take it away from you, and they'll say that you're trying to injure him, or he was defenseless or whatever. And I don't know. I just don't get some of these rule changes and what they're doing with special teams. I just don't get. But they're great. Not to cut you off there, and I'll go back. But this is the way the evolution of the game is, and you have to roll with it. It's like anything, life's an audible. If you can't roll with the audibles, forget about it.
Oh, absolutely. Like with all these rule changes in every sport regarding health, like even baseball, the sliding rules, it's changing the game. Like it basically makes it like where the World Series could come down to a throw at home plate, and they end up losing the World Series because the guy can't slide.
Well, and it's an objective, and it's an objective call too. You have those, and the time that's spent in the replay booth, and that's even getting to be real annoying. That's a new thing too. We didn't have anything. Whatever the call was, and you had to live by it, and you'd scream and yell from the sidelines, and they ignore you. But that's what it was. But the sliding rule, I can't imagine. Like with me, I was allowed to, back then, we were allowed to block below the waist. Yeah. And then then my third year, they changed the rule that you can only hit a guy above the waist. And then here I am, and I'm on. And the way that first scene in the movie when I got wiped out by Randy White, actually that happened in the third season of the year, because he was my guy that I had to go at downfield. And I went after him, and I couldn't go after him below the waist. Below the waist, he's my size. But above the waist, here's a guy that could bench press me 50 times, for crying out loud. I'm coming in at 195. He could curl me, and and I'm coming in for him, and he just tore me apart. And then they created that scene based upon that. And I don't know if my style of play, the way I played my first couple of years, would have enabled me to make the team, because I wouldn't have been able to do that stuff. But they were the things that really attracted Coach Vermeil. And brought me, winding up getting 4 years in the NFL.
It was absolutely the perfect timing.
Oh yeah, timing's everything.
Yeah,
take advantage of opportunities. I got a little mosquito bite or something down there. All right, didn't mean to throw my head in there.
What was the craziest player, like where you watched them on TV, and then you got to see them play in person as a player? Like it was like one of those moments where it's like, holy cow, I'm playing against this guy now?
Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to think of who was that crazy player. I guess it was Dallas. Trying to think of the defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys. I can't think of his name right now, but I played. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's one of the craziest ones was Hollywood Henderson. I'll give you this one. Ant. He was a bomb squatter linebacker. He was nuts, man. He was totally insane, and nicest guy in the world, and he's a good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
I could text him right now and say, "Yo, what's going on?" Everybody called him Hollywood, but yeah, he was pretty insane. There were so many guys that you saw and you saw on TV, and this is the crazy thing, Matt and Ant. When I'm watching the game and I'm seeing all these guys on field, and then I'm out there in the stadiums, like some of the best stadiums in the world at that time, and I'm in those stadiums playing against guys that I've been watching and cheering against for the last 5 or 10 years prior to that, and like, let's say from 70 on, and now here I am, I'm going head to head with them. And then when you know it, that because of our fraternity, our alumni fraternity, our players association fraternity, these guys, like a guy, Tim Fox, and then Bruce Laird. Bruce Laird played for the Baltimore Colts, Tim Fox for the New England Patriots. We hated each other. It was literal wars on the field. And now these guys are my best buddies. And I had a guy that's my teammate, Denny Franks, who was as crazy and nutty as could be. They called him Diesel. And he was nuts, but now he's my best friend and the godfather of my children. Thank God he's on my side. That's
crazy.
Yeah. So but they there's that switch. These guys have that switch that they can turn on and off on Sunday, and it was sort of fun to watch. And that was for me the great thrill about playing in the NFL is getting to know all these guys on both sides of the fence.
They always say fighters beat up their best friends more than they would beat up like someone they hate. Like they'll go at them harder.
Well, I've never heard that one, but I went after some of my guys that eventually became teammates pretty hard, and I was instead of being a fluke and everybody thought that I was going to be a snitch for Coach Ramil, I was trying to write a book or write a magazine article. I wound up becoming their teammate and one of their best friends. So, it's part of the transition. It was, for me, it was one of the most exciting, fun things about the game.
Yeah.
I know there made a movie about you, and what your take on the movie? Did you have any input on in it, or is it something that you really enjoy about the movie?
I had a great influence in the movie. I didn't realize, Ann, how much influence I had until I actually had a conversation because the movie was on ESPN a couple of nights ago. Not this past Friday night, but last Friday night before that. And Mark and I did this. It's on my my YouTube channel.
We're definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. And Mark and I started talking, and then as I started thinking, I had a tremendous influence in certainly in some of the places where they shot the movie. And that happened in Philadelphia. But obviously, the script came off things that were true experiences. They call them biopics. They don't call them documentaries. So so Ant, and that's a great question, buddy. By the way, so they asked us. So they asked me, well, what was the wardrobes like back then? And what I did is I brought in all my scrapbooks, and then actually they helped create the wardrobe with that scrapbook.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which was neat. Hey, where were some of the places you hung out in Philadelphia? And I point, some of the neighborhoods, and I pointed them out, and then they wound up using them in the shooting in the movie because Philly was the backdrop for the scene. All the stuff you saw on the football field, whether it was the rough touch, whether it was the training camp, and whether it was the pro scenes, they were all things that really happened. And they were things that I helped choreograph and coordinate with the second unit. And that was that guy's name was Mark Ellis, and he did the longest yard. He did rookie. He did miracle. He's the guy that put all the athletes together. Yeah, he did. I mean, this guy's one of the best there is in the business, and he was also a wide receiver, believe it or not, in college. So we got along really great. And keeping in mind the guys that did our movie were the same guys that did Miracle and Rookie right before I came in. So there was.
Oh, that was basically back to back then.
Yeah, that was back to back to back. And so we sort of had that kind of a pedigree. Where they did mess around a little bit was they didn't give me the full credit as being a full-time school teacher and a coach that I was at Interboro High School, and right around the corner. You're in Havertown, so you got to have it for high school. You had to have it for prep, and all that stuff. And I've been to Carl's Cards 1,000 times to sign autographs up there, right there in Havertown. So I know your neighborhood, and went to St. Joe's. It's to cut right through that way and right through Haverford to get to St. Joe's. So I did a lot of that stuff, and it was pretty cool. And it's been 13, almost 14 years now, Labor Day, and Mark's my buddy, and the producers are my buddy, and here I am. Now just tonight I'm heading down to Fort Lauderdale and doing an autograph signing. And if I can't name some of the guys that are down there because they don't want people to go to where I'm going, because we can't draw a crowd. Obviously, it's our private thing, but to even have that opportunity here while I'm in Florida to go down there, it's all because of Invincible. It's just opened up so many doors for me, and I do motivational speaking all over the world.
That's awesome.
I used to. Now it's all virtual.
Was Mark your first choice to play yourself in the movie?
Oh, I did. I had a couple of choices. I was just messing around. I knew they were going to pick their people, and I was messing. I thought that Bradley Cooper, because he was a Philly guy. Yeah. I thought, Hugh Jackman, Keanu Reeves. He were just names of mine, and everybody in the neighborhood were busting my chops, and they says, be Danny DeVito. He'd be the perfect you. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, but it turned out to be Mark, and the best choice ever. Just not only because how much passion he put into the role and how much respect he had for me, the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL uniform he was wearing, the sport that he was representing. He just gave it everything. And now, because we're still so close, and I call him a close friend, he's family. He's beyond friend. He's family, and we're family to him. And if I asked him for anything, especially with a charity, he'd be right there for us.
That's awesome.
That's the only time. People come, Mark, we gotta, he would be the perfect in this role. He would be perfect in that role. I said, well, it is what it is. He's my buddy. I don't ask my buddies to do stuff like that.
When you retired, what was the first thing that you wanted to do, or that you did right after you retired?
Well, my retirement, it was years ago. They retired me actually, and after my fourth season, I got into my, I got through 3 seasons, and I got in my fourth season, and I blew both my shoulders out. I was coming off surgery on this one. It was the first preseason game against the Baltimore Colts, and I had surgery in the off season after we had the wild card game against the Falcons, and I had a 3rd-degree shoulder separation in that game, and I was playing. Yeah. So after New Year's, they did it, and then I came back in the first game next year. I re-separated it, and but I was having a good game, and I didn't want to come out, and Coach wanted to pull me. And I said, I'm a special teams guy, and I really wanted, this guy gave me a cheap shot. He was the 1st-round draft pick for the Colts. I wanted to get even, and I got even, and I came in with this shoulder, and just as I was coming in, it was a little slippery on Municipal Field, and I hit him with my arm instead of my shoulder, and I ripped my shoulder right out of its socket. So I had it dislocated. I separated left, it dislocated right, and so I wound up on the 4th year on injured reserve, but I got a pension out of it. And I did TV and radio for a while in Philly, and then sales and marketing. And now, since in the last 13, 14 years, I'm an author. I've written 3 books, and travel around the world speaking. Used to travel around the world speaking.
What would be your favorite moment? I know we talked about you playing football, and you doing having your own book, or all those things that you accomplished. What would be your favorite moment?
I'm probably looking at 2 of them right now, and that's my daughter Gabriella, and that's my son Vinny, and they're on the other side of this window that I'm out on the porch here, And Gabby's he's on a conference call actually with the Sixers, and Vinny just got back. My son Vinny signed with the Montreal Alouettes. So so there's big announcements coming up maybe today as to the future of the CFL. So we'll see what's going on. But and so there's the birth of my children, and marrying my wife Janet, who in the movie was portrayed as a Giants fan, is actually a world class gymnast. And
it was played by Elizabeth Banks, right?
Yeah. Elizabeth did a great job, and so anyway, them. But from the football side, it was just when I found out I made the team, it was incredible. And Dick Vermeil coming and said, "Hey, congratulations, old man! You're a Philadelphia Eagle. Welcome to the team." And I called my dad and got a hold of him at Westinghouse, and we had a big. Everybody was going crazy in the plant at Westinghouse, right there in the river by the airport. And that was one of the greatest experiences of a lifetime.
You were talking about your son playing in the Canadian Football League this upcoming season.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever consider playing in there back in the day, or no?
No, I never really thought much about it. I didn't think I'd get the opportunity. I was actually, my focuses were trying to qualify for the Olympic trials, Matt, in the decathlon. Okay. And I was pretty good. That didn't quite happen. And then I was 26, 28 years old and thinking, well, there's no way nobody's going to give me an opportunity. I'm too old, no college football kind of a thing. I sort of locked myself out of that dream. And so I started playing semi-pro football, and I was playing against guys who were former NFLers, and I'm sort of kicking ass as a wide receiver, and I'm running a 9.7 100-yard dash, for crying out loud. So I had speed, and I could catch the ball. And when that evolved to the World Football League, when they had a free agent tryout, I was 28. And now the league folds, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm ready to go back to Interboro to teach and coach. I'm at Max's, which is still there in Prospect Park. I'm substitute teaching, bartending, doorman at a nightclub in Philadelphia, just trying to make money, to get myself out of debt because of the league that folded. And then Coach Vermeil comes in, and so I took a shot at that tryout. But at that point, then I thought I could do it. But I just figured that age and the resume and lack of experience and all those things would be the total knockout. But it wasn't in Dick Vermeil's eyes. He saw tenacity, he saw somebody fast, he saw somebody with a work ethic that he liked. It was an instant connection, and here we go. Got the shot of a lifetime and ran with it. And then they made the movie. But it's all about our dreams. Ant's got his dreams, I've got mine, and we bust our ass to have it come true every once in a while. Somebody busts us, it blows up in our face. But you're a poser or a loser if you don't continue chasing and getting up and failing forward, so to speak, as I always talk about, and you chase it again, go for another one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Did you always wanted to be a football player growing up as a kid?
As a kid, yes, and I always wanted to do that, but everybody was telling me at Interboro Junior High School, I wasn't even 100 pounds in ninth grade. I wasn't even 5 feet tall. So they told me I was too small, and I never really played organized football until my senior year in high school. I was playing at Glen Olden Park. I was playing for a weight team, the 100-pounders, all the way up until I was about 14 or 15 years old, and then I got too old. I mean, that's how tiny I was. And then finally, my senior year, the guy that was my junior high school phys ed teacher, and he was also a track coach, he invited me to try out as a first-year senior at Interboro, and I wound up leading the team in receptions and touchdowns. And then the itch really got there, and I wanted to play college football, but nobody was going to take a chance on a 5'6" first-year senior, 160-pounder, Matt. And so then when I went out for track just to get in shape for football.
What's crazy is nowadays you put a thing on YouTube and schools see you and you got like 6 or 7 scholarships just by a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, we didn't have that. We thought it was a big deal when somebody would take a Polaroid camera when we were doing what we were doing in pole vaulting, and us being able to see what we're in the middle of the vault. Now, I'm with Vinny training, we'll go there and I'll go with him, and he's got a quarterback throwing to him, and I'll show him the route, and then after he does about 3 or 4 routes, he'll come over and he'll take a look.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, I got to work on this. I can do this. I got to do that. So, and that's another thing with, and the difference in the technology that's involved there. But I always wanted to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Tommy McDonald was my idol, and he was that little guy. And eventually at St. Joe's, I wind up 6'2", 190 pounds, and I'm pole vaulting almost 15 feet, and long jumping 23 feet, and running a 100-yard dash in 9.7. And coach says, you're just going to do it. You're going to do a lot of things. And that's so I ran track and then went back to Interborough, and that's when I tried the decathlon thing.
That's awesome.
And that you will want to leave it on?
Yeah.
That you will want to know about? Or is there anything that's coming out right now? Or whatever?
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Let's see what's coming out. Well, Gabriella and I she's very, very funny, and she's got tremendous contacts because of just with where she works and what she does. We're coming out with a podcast similar to you, and it's going to be coming out soon, and it's going to be called Gabbing with Invincible, every pun intended. And we have a great lineup. I mean, some really marquee names of people that are going to be on it, and then hopefully Vinny will be up there in Montreal playing. And let's see what else I've got. Oh, and I've got a book out, and it's called The Last Laugh, From Vision to Victory, with my teammate Dennis Franks, and you can get that on Amazon. And let's see what else. And then, VincePapale.com. That's
awesome.
how you guys found me. And anybody wants me to come out right now, give a virtual thing or a shout out, I'm on Cameo.com. I do a lot of shout outs to people for birthdays, graduations, which are coming up, and, just feeling good about themselves. So, all good.
And where can we find you on social media and
all right, let's see. Yeah, okay, that's social media. Well, I'm tapped out on Facebook, but I'm Vince Papale, Vince Papale 83 on Instagram, and on Twitter, I'm 83 Invincible. So there it is.
And we really appreciate you coming on.
We definitely do.
I'm very honored to have you on our podcast.
Okay.
Great.
Well, thanks, Ed. I'm honored to be your first ever. Everybody has to be a huge honor at some point. Yeah, thanks, Matt. You guys, good luck to you. You take care of what's going on to you, and stay safe, be healthy, and stay strong.
And we'll put all the links up for you on our YouTube video, so people can check out all your current stuff you got going on.
All right, I'll pop it out there as well.
Good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ant.
Thank you, Vince Papale, for joining us for our first show.
You're welcome, guys. Congratulations. Thanks. What's that? You got 86 there? Is that 86?
Yeah, it's Hurts, and I got folds in the background.
I see the folds. I can just about see the 9. I thought it was Hurts, man. We love Zach.
Yeah.
Well, he and his wife are actually going to be. They've agreed to be our guests.
Oh, that's awesome. We're definitely going to be checking that out.
Yeah, I mean that's really a tremendous team that would come on, because here's a woman that won a World Cup and Olympic medal, and here's a guy that won a Super Bowl. I mean, you talk about invincible teams, power couples. That's what I like to think Janet and I are. So, hey, you guys are an invincible team. So I'll just sign off for that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great one, Vince.
Yeah, man. We'll see you later. Thanks, Ant.
Have a good one.
All right, buddy. You're welcome.